Hey, everybody, we're going to get started in just a minute. I've got 8:30, and just as a courtesy to everybody, we'll get started on time. There are going to be a number of folks coming on as we get started, but we're going to try and stay on schedule.
How's everyone doing?
Good, good.
Good. How are you doing?
We're doing great.
Okay, everybody, I've got 8:31, so we're going to get started. The rest, I've gotten a couple of texts. They'll be getting on in a few minutes. And so welcome to the LifeWave Zoom call. We're glad you're here, and it's an exciting time. There's a lot of good things happening, and we do this call every Thursday, either Courtney and I or Greg and Jennifer King. And the reason we do this Zoom call is so that our team, all of you that are on this call, can have somewhere to get information, new information, and then have somewhere to plug into what we're doing, and to plug your people in, more importantly, and to introduce LifeWave to people. And they need to hear about stem cell activation. They need to hear about what's going on, the testimonies that are coming in, and we're having a lot of fun, and oh, by the way, making some money along the way as well. So I got introduced to LifeWave a number of months ago. I had a good friend that called and said, I need you to look at this. We had done some business together before, so he had some influence with me. Certainly, I trusted his judgment. But when I saw that this company had a product that was non-transdermal, and the buzzword was stem cell activation. So immediately I wanted to know more. I needed more information. And one thing I think is really important in a business like this, we're all looking for some type of vehicle, to earn some extra money, but we want to help a lot of people along the way as well. And he told me about LifeWave and these stem cell patches, and that these patches would rejuvenate and reactivate my own body stem cells. I'm going to let Courtney talk about the product a little bit further as we go in just a few minutes. But one thing that jumped off the page for me is he said, look, this is very unique. It's proprietary. This is a scientific research and development company. They're coming out with additional products that are going to be revolutionary. And it wasn't just another pill, potion, lotion, juice, vitamin, something like that. I just wasn't interested in hearing about something like that, albeit there are some fantastic companies out there with great products. I wanted something that had that wow factor, and something that would really change some people's lives. And the testimonies we're hearing, even this week, I've heard numerous new testimonies. A couple of the folks are on the call, I noticed. I know that Carolyn is getting on the call. Her family has had amazing testimonies. I got to listen to those this week, and it's been life-changing. So we are going to go through what the what's, the hows, the what fors with this product and this company. And talk about the product, and then I'm going to wrap it up by talking how you can share this with other people and earn what I call a residual annuity passive residual income. And, you know, we want to lead with the product. We want to talk about the product first because that's the star of the show, no question about it. And that's the most important thing here, make no mistake. And the idea of changing people's lives, see, it's nice because Courtney and I talk about it a lot. It's nice because we can lay our heads down at night on the pillow and feel good about what we're doing and who we're involved with and what company we're involved with, and more importantly, the product, because we know that the product has life-changing properties to it, and people are getting real results, from headaches to skin issues to neuropathies to arthritis to inflammation, all the things that are devastating our body, and we're rusting from the inside out. And this product rejuvenates that through stem cell reactivation. So with that, we're going to get started, talk about the product first, and then we'll circle back.
Okay, so first let's talk about your stem cells and why X39 is even important. So you can go get stem cell therapies, which I'm sure all of you know about. They can cost anywhere from $8,000 to $24,000. I knew someone that went every year. She had MS. She started on the patches in January, but she had MS, and every year she would go down to Miami and get $40,000 worth of stem cells, and they worked for about a year, and then she had to go back. And so when I was introducing this to her, and the thought of her being able to have her symptoms get better without spending 40,000 grand was huge. And the reason why they cost that much is because stem cells are your body's master cells. They're the building blocks for all your organs. And, you know, just like that says, your tissues, your muscles, your whole immune system, your whole body depends on your stem cells. That's why when you're sick and you break a bone, you can just get right back up, put a cast on it, and you're good. But if you're 60, 70, 80 and you break a bone, it could be terrible for your health. You can't just get back up, and that's because you don't have as much stem cells. So you're born with billions of them, and then by the time you're 35, you've lost half of them, and by the time you're 60, you've lost almost all of them. So that's why, you know, you get diseases and you lose your memory and your immune system isn't great and your muscles are hurting and your bones are breaking easy. It's because of your stem cells. So the faster you age, the slower that you heal. And that's because your body ability to heal itself is because of stem cells. So X39 looks like this, which I'm sure all of you know what it looks like, but it's non-invasive, it's non-transdermal, and transdermal means that nothing is transferring into your skin. So dermal means skin, trans means transferring, and so nothing is transferring in. So it's not like a birth control patch or a nicotine patch or a pain patch that's putting chemicals into your body or medication into your body. This is putting nothing into your body, and it does that through this white little circle. Embedded in that is a solution of organic sugars, salts, amino acids, oxygen, and water. And all of those things are made in our labs. So we don't outsource anything. Everything is made in our labs, either in Ireland or San Diego. So that's super important. He literally makes everything that is in this patch. Huh?
Can I have that?
Sure. You don't have one on today, do you?
Okay.
So when you put that on, I usually have it on my skin. When you put that on, it reflects back a wavelength of light into your body, and it does that through your own body's heat. So we're all about 98% heat. And when you put that on, it changes that wavelength of light. And when it does that, it activates and elevates your GHK copper peptide. And through the pathway of your GHK copper peptide, it activates your stem cells. And so here are some benefits for your GHKCU. You can get an injection of GHK. It's going to cost you about $200 to $300. And a lot of people do that because it's really good for your skin. But this patch activates your own body's GHKCU, which is big. It's not putting artificial GHK in your body. It's activating and elevating your own. So you can see all these benefits, from skin and hair to cancer, to brain and nerves, to all stem cells. This is all that's clinically proven to do through the activation of GHK copper peptide. So there's huge things all the way, you know, you can reduce your wrinkles or stomach. I mean, you can read all these, but this is found on reverse aging with ghkcu.com. So you can find that there, but that's all the things that GHK does. And then that's patented. So our patent says on there that this non-transdermal patch elevates and increases copper peptide through GHK-Cu. So that is patented. That was issued in July in 2020. So it's effective till 2040. And it proves that we can activate our stem cells in the blood. That's on this one. And then he has over 150 patents altogether through all the technologies that he has. But that's the main one that I typically show. So the benefits of X39 are everything that we just talked about with GHK. And then these are the ones that people typically see pretty quickly. You know, it resets 4,000 genes to a younger, healthy state in 24 hours. It helps with brain regulation. It's age reversal, which I'll get to that in a minute. But faster wound healing, I've seen this so many times just in my friends and family. When they get a cut or a bruise, they stick X39 on it, and it goes away so much quicker. Reduce scars, I've seen that in my own life. It increases collagen, all of that. And then these are just a lot of the testimonies that I've seen personally with people that I've talked to. And then you know, all of our Telegram testimonies, but these are just major ones that I see all the time with people that I talk to. You know, anything from arthritis to COPD, from eyes improving, that's huge. I've talked to someone the other day that said that they got to reduce their prescription for their eyes, which is huge. And all they're doing is putting a little patch on every single day. And now, you know, they might not have to wear glasses in a couple months. So that's pretty big. So in the first few days, like I said, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. I've seen this firsthand with anxiety and depression, just in, you know, my niece and in my own life. I know that's been really huge for me when I first started. But I've seen that in a lot of people that within not even 6 weeks, but sometimes it takes that long, that people's anxiety, all that stress begins to be lowered. And that's because your stem cells are being activated and your GHK is being activated. So within 3 months, your collagen is increased. So that decreases wrinkles and hair growth. I had a patch on my head right around here that was literally going bald. I was losing so much hair. And that's completely grown back. That grew back within probably 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks. So does all that within 3 months. And in 6 months, this is where we talk about its age reversal instead of anti-aging. So this says in a recent study, 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after 6 months being on X39. So that's your organs. So that's your heart, all your organs, your vascular age reduces by 8 years every 6 months that you're on it. So if you're on it 12 months, it's 16 years.
Yeah. Can we stay there a second? Okay. Let me touch on something here. I think what's really important to understand is some people, it just depends on what's going wrong in the body, right? And some people have more severe ailments and inflammation and things like that. I've seen folks within hours feel the effects of X39, maybe pain related, things like that I've seen affected immediately. Others, it's been a week or two. Others, it's been 2 or 3 months. The point I'm making is it takes time for the body to heal itself. But when you're putting the right thing in there and you're rejuvenating stem cells, and it takes time for this type of thing to happen. So I think it's important that we set this up properly and that we don't give people false expectations on what this patch is. It's not some wonder drug, you know, that's just not what it is. This is a wellness patch. This is something that over time, you know, has tremendous benefits, and the age reversing that we're talking about, and you know, anxiety and depression. And there are a couple of folks on the call. I noticed the phone numbers I recognize. I've been talking to them recently. kids with autism and things, people that have depression, haven't been able to do much, are now getting up, they're doing things, they're washing dishes for the first time, they're getting sleep, their kids are more focused, and it goes on and on and on. And, no one's making this stuff up. It's very real what's happening. I just don't want any of you to go out and say, hey, put this on and tomorrow call me, you're going to feel a lot better. They might, but they may not. And it's just important to understand the process and how this works and how to set it up properly.
And that's because you can't tell your stem cells where to go. So if you have something in your body that you don't even know you have, your stem cells are going to go to that first before it starts working on your arthritis or your neuropathy or whatever else. You don't feel yourself getting cancer, so you're not going to feel yourself healing from something either. So I always tell people we have a health or a health tracker that I send out, and it just has you, grade how you feel when you start. And it's good to track that process because sometimes you don't remember how bad you felt. And so you'll say it's not working, or I don't, whatever you say. And then you look back at your health tracker and was like, wow, I was really bad off. And I do feel a little bit better. So it is working. I had a girl that she was on it for 6 months and she's still on it. And she kept telling me, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. And every month she was like, I believe in this though. I believe in the technology. I believe in the research. So I'm going to keep, so she kept investing, didn't feel anything, she said. And then she went to the doctor and she got her blood work done and literally everything had changed. She didn't feel it change, but everything had changed. So you got to give it time. A lot of people are not one patch wonders. I was, but there's a lot of people that aren't. I talked to a lot of people that it takes 6, 7, 8 weeks for them to feel anything at all. So yes, you got to give it lots of time. So these are my 3 favorite clinical studies, peer reviews, double-blind placebos. We have tons and tons of them that just prove anything from blood pressure being changed or heart rate, your sleep. It's just all in here, documented. And a lot of them are not done by LifeWave. I don't think any of these ones are done by LifeWave. So these are all peer-reviewed studies about X39 and GHK copper peptide and what these non-transdermal patches can do and what they proved at significance within 7 days. So I'm happy to send any of these to y'all. These are my 3 favorite ones, but those are really good ones.
Okay, so one of the things that was important to me, I've said this before on the call, but there are a number of new people that are on. I was not interested really in getting started with a startup company. As good as some of the startups sound, and everybody likes to throw the buzzwords around like, hey, you need to get in now and you need to get in early and that sort of thing. It's more important to get involved with a company that's already worked out the bugs and the kinks and is hitting what I call critical mass. And they've reached momentum. It takes time to do that. It takes years to do that. The company was doing about 20 million in sales. The slide in front of us goes through that and shows you that the LifeWave went from the 20 million to 280 million in the last 2 years. Well, those numbers have doubled now. And it's going to continue. It's going to go to $1 billion. Mostly off the back of the X39 stem cell patch. They have other products, other patches that are very good, that do different things. But again, the star of the show is X39, and that's the one that is getting the most attention and is having the most effect on people. But getting back to this, company's been around for a long time. Now they have a fantastic back office. They do not have issues with fulfillment and distribution and production and things like that. So I call it the perfect vehicle. It is a company that stands alone. Nobody else has this. Nobody's going to have this. They're open in over 80 countries. It's actually a few more than this slide shows now, and counting. I know of 2 countries that are opening up in the next 2 months. And so that was a company that I was excited about hitching my wagon with, especially talking about stem cell rejuvenation. So the industry itself, the other thing that got my attention was everyone is familiar in talking about stem cell therapy and the importance of it, and the importance of healthy stem cells. And the industry is expected to explode from 200 million to 300 billion. I think those numbers are conservative. But here's the thing. The part about this slide that gets my attention is when you're out and about, whether it's friends, family, someone you run into, or even someone you meet, when you bring up the idea, or maybe you wear the patch, I've got the patch on my wrist right now. If you wear the patch or get a chance to talk to someone and you mention the idea of reactivating their stem cells with a non-transdermal patch that is incredibly inexpensive, people listen and they want to hear more. Now, the good news is we've got a ton of information and resources, so you don't have to go and sell anyone. You don't have to be a salesperson. You need to go herald the message of stem cell activation and rejuvenation. And you need to be able to tell people, hey, look, go to Start X39 now. I'll send you the website. Here it is. And get back to me as soon as you've had a chance to look at it. And if they'll take the time to look at that website, it will go through top to bottom what this is, how it works, what the technology is behind it. And they will certainly call back and they will be interested in. I don't know anybody, if they take the time to look at this, does not want more information, and who doesn't want better health and wellness? Most people are out there, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and this is the perfect answer. So now that leads us into the compensation plan. So we're able to go out and share this with our friends, our family, people that we care about. And then, oh, by the way, there's a referral program that goes along with it. So when you come in to LifeWave, you order product and you build two teams, a left team and a right team. It pays commission, and it's a binary compensation plan, meaning that there are two legs. The model, the first thing that you want to do is put two people on the left and two people on the right, and then you become a manager by doing that. That's the first way that you earn commissions with this compensation plan, is by enrolling and sponsoring people to use the patches. Mostly X39 is what we lead with. Again, that's kind of the start of the show. I wouldn't even talk about other patches until they've tried X39 and have been on it. And then they can look further and say, oh my gosh, look, by the way, they have SP6, or they have IceWave, or they have glutathione, which, all have different properties and different ways of helping from a health standpoint. The compensation plan, when you share this with people, and if you'll notice on this slide, it shows first level, second level, third level. What that means is if I go out and enroll or sponsor someone, I share X39 with my friend Greg. Greg is my first level. So I receive 25% match from what he does. Now you have to be a manager above to start receiving that, but that's not hard to do. That's getting 4 people in the business. But these levels, this part, which is called the matching bonus, is dramatically better than anything I've seen in the industry. On your first level, you earn 25% of the folks that you enroll. And then as they enroll people, that now becomes your second generation or your second level, and you make 20% off of that. And then as that person goes out and sponsors someone, it's then third generation or third level, and you make 20% there. So it is a very robust compensation plan. I've seen many, many, many compensation plans. I've never seen any that were 25, 20, and 20. Most of them are 5, 10, even 2 and 3% generational bonuses. So the other thing, so the ways that you make money in this is obviously by sharing it. So when you share this, if I go to my friend Greg and I tell him about X39 and he places an order, I also get what I refer to as a first order bonus. I think the company calls it first order or product bonus, product introductory bonus, whatever it is. It's a first order bonus. So if they decide, hey, we want to try this and we want to build this business, they place an order, I get a first order bonus, and all of you as well, as you share it with people. You get a first order bonus, you get the check matching, you get team commissions. There's a lot of different ways to earn income with this. My suggestion is to get with the person that invited you, or have them call me, or you call me, call us, and we can go over the compensation plan in more depth to really drill down on how that works. The important thing now is to get started. It's to make a list, share this with as many people as you can. They're going to hear about it from somebody. It may as well be you. And because it's starting to get a lot of traction. I've made phone calls now to people, and they're hearing about it from either other people or advertising, or like my friend Paul Simmons, who's on the call, he's got on the side of his car, hey, LifeWave stem cell patches, call me. And this is getting out there, folks. But we are still the pioneers with it. We're still so early in this. The good news is if you go out and share it with a few people, chances are 99% they're going to say, no, I've never heard of this. Tell me more. So I encourage you to do that. And the beauty of the program is, being able to earn, telling somebody about this one time and getting paid over and over and over again. I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And that's the beauty of this type of referral business. I'm so glad that they didn't put it out in retail and on shelves and things like that. Things like that. It gives all of us an opportunity to earn, residual income while we're helping our friends, family, people get healthier, and a lot of people, heal ailments that are bothering them. So we're doing these calls every Thursday. From now on, I think it is going to be at 8 o'clock. I think we confused a couple people today that may have gotten on at 8, but going forward, we'll do it every Thursday. My suggestion in getting started and having success with this is to do as many three-way calls with your upline, whoever that is, whoever introduced this to you, or do those calls with Greg and Jennifer King, or Courtney and I. We're glad to do three-way calls. I do them all the time, virtually every day. And that's the best way to really introduce this to people until you're up to speed and can really talk intelligently about X39 and LifeWave. I would use third-party validation and do three-way calls, plug people into these Zoom calls. There is a system in place. And what I mean by that is it's all about duplication. So if you can invite people, get them on these Zoom calls, you can do three-way calls, and just, let people know that they're part of something larger than themselves. And we can really, build a team and everyone is going to move faster if we do that. So I'm not opposed. Also, we can take you guys off of mute, and if there's a couple questions, we're going to stick around and answer a couple of those. We got quite a few new people on the call tonight, so if there is a question, go ahead and chime in and let's talk about it. And not everybody on the team can hear that, because I'm sure they have the same questions. Mm-hmm. If there aren't any, then I'm just going to get a bowl of ice cream and call it a night. But
what flavor?
What flavor?
I don't know. I don't even eat ice cream. I don't know why I said that. But it was Courtney's birthday a couple of days ago. We've got vanilla ice cream in there and root beer, because she wanted a root beer float for her birthday. So I may indulge with a root beer float.
I hope you bought more vanilla ice cream, because there isn't anymore.
Well, that's great. Never mind.
Has anyone heard any testimonies this week that they're
yeah. Scroll down. Okay. Well, she was on. Carolyn was on. Carolyn is, I want to say she's in Oklahoma. And they had phenomenal testimonies this week. Her mother, who's 87, had a tremendous testimony. But more importantly, the kids and her grandkids who are autistic are doing so much better on X39. She said she didn't care if she made $1 off of X39 and LifeWave. That these things have been life-changing for them. So again, that's not the first time I've heard about, autistic testimonies. But every week I hear more and more great testimonies, and it blows my mind, some of the things that come back and how it's changing people's lives. I know that Paul always has some folks that have great testimonies as well. But so nobody has any questions. There's a few new people, but we're going to do this obviously every Thursday, and we're starting to creep up and get a few more people. But our goal here is to help all of you that are on the call and just provide this platform for you to invite folks and to invite their folks. The beauty of the business is it only takes, so don't get discouraged. It only takes one or two people that really kind of see this and want more. They want to help some people, but they also want a little bit more, and they recognize the opportunity. You just need a couple people that are willing to do that. And once you find them, it gets to be a lot of fun at that point. Then it becomes a matter of just working with their people. And it's not about knowing 1,000 people. It's about sharing it with a handful, and then they'll lead you to someone else who will lead you to someone else. And that's kind of how we're spending our days, is working depth in the business, meaning depth into people's other people's referrals and people that they know and that they know and that they know. And it's building depth, and it's building long-term security in our businesses. So
I'm
anyway.
on here, Joey. I'm on here if you want me to tell my testimony.
Oh, hey, Carolyn. I wasn't sure. I knew you were on there, but then I scrolled down.
I couldn't figure out how to unmute it.
Oh,
Well, listen. I promise you they'd love to hear it. If you would, maybe just 2 or 3 minutes, something quick. If you'll just do a 30,000-foot flyby on what you told me this week. I just thought it was fantastic. So tell them kind of what's going on in your family.
Well, first of all, my grandchildren are 6, 7, fixing to be 7 and 8 and 9, and 2 of them are autistic. And we've been putting half patches on them, but we figured we had to turn it like a smiling moon up, or otherwise they fall out. But we've been putting on them, and the one will not go to sleep at all night long, and wants to sleep all day long. Well, he's been sleeping all night long, and he wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning like he's supposed to for getting ready for school, and he's been wanting to read more and things. And the other one, he's nonverbal at all, and he's been talking like you wouldn't believe, and he's been going around wanting to count, to play hide and go seek, and he don't know how to count to 20, but he's been saying every kind of number you could think of between 1 and 20, and which is like a miracle with him. And it amazes me, makes me want to really cry to hear them do this. And my daughter that's mentally challenged, that's almost 40 this year, she normally doesn't really do a lot around the house, but she's been doing laundry, dishes, sweeping, mopping and stuff, and giving the kids baths and stuff like every day. And that's a true miracle if you just knew it. It's just a true miracle of God. And that just blesses me at one side and down the other. For me, myself, it cured my kidneys after 2 days of patches that I've been on antibiotics for 2 months, and that had not been done anything for me. It cured my German Shepherd after about 2 or 3 days that had been on medication for 2 years on her left ear, after getting them after we wore them for 12 hours and then putting them on her underneath her collar. I'm bedridden, as if you can't tell here, and I have been since 2007. I've been disabled, but I'd been in the bed since 2016. I had that, I don't know if y'all know Renita, but her dad had that ooey gooey stuff that come out of his leg. Well, my granny died from it, my daddy died from it, and then out of 6 kids, I got it. And that yellow stuff's done quit coming out of my legs. The scars are almost gone where it quit coming out. They're not blood red anymore. And usually when I go to the doctor, I can't get out of bed at all to go to the bathroom even for like 3 weeks because my leg's so hard and swollen up. Well, I went July 3rd, and by July 4th, the swelling was down. I even got to go to the fireworks with my grandkids and my daughter. And when we were leaving, because we were in block traffic, my husband cuts across the yard. My husband takes off across the yard and hits the bump so hard that you thought we were going to get the truck stuck in it. And my daughter goes, "Mama, why are you not screaming?" And I said, "Because it didn't hurt." And usually the tiniest bump hurts me, and that did not hurt me. And he hits the railroad track going across Kingsley, because I live in Orange Park, not Oklahoma, and it didn't hurt me either. So it's a miracle of God that bumps and things like that are not hurting my back, because I do not have any disc from my neck all the way down to my tailbone, because they all deteriorated, and I can't stand up because the sacroiliac joint's gone in my back. So now I can walk from the bedroom to the living room after wearing these X39 patches. And my mother-in-law that lives in Oklahoma can stand up and sing now on Sunday morning, and don't use her walker anymore after wearing them for like 2 or 3 days. And also she has that degenerative something other with her eyes where she sees double vision. And last Sunday morning, after wearing them for 17 days, she could see without double vision.
Wow.
And so that's our testimony so far.
Well, hey, Carolyn, I really appreciate you sharing. I'm glad you did that. I enjoyed this week talking to you guys, and I knew somebody was in Oklahoma, by the way.
Yeah.
that was Mama, and
Yeah.
anyway, but no, I was blown away by those testimonies, and it's not uncommon. You know, we're hearing it from a lot of different people. So, you know, the encouragement would be to not only continue, but for everybody to, you know, share those kind of stories and continue to build this. Let us help you any way we can. We're available, you know, to do calls and send information or whatever it takes. So are there any other
I've got a
questions
lot
before we go?
more, but I just had to limit it. I've got a lot more with me alone, but I just had to limit it. So I've got a whole lot more.
Well, that's
You-
good. Hey, I know everybody appreciates it, Carolyn,
Okay, thank you.
I'm glad you're doing better, and I'll help you any way I can. So
Thank you.
does anybody else have any questions before we go? You know, I hope that you'll reach out and call us with some 3-way calls over the weekend, and we're available. So with that, does anybody have anything else? All right. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on the Zoom. I think we recorded this.
We did. It's
Okay.
recorded.
If someone needs that recording, fantastic. And we will send information out for next week's call. And in the meantime, let us know what we can do to help. And thanks again for being on the call.
Have a good
Have a
night.
good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.